Good afternoon, everyone. Jonathan. Okay, all right. Like somebody threw some water on you or something. I'm hoping everyone is happy and healthy this afternoon. Yes? Yes is all around. I want to thank you all for being here. As I mentioned, I think in my press conference 2 weeks ago that I was going to make myself available for updates and answer questions on a weekly basis as my schedule deems. So I'm here today once again to just give some operational updates on what's going on here at City Hall and what's going on here around the city. Let me begin with the incident that occurred last night. You all are covering as we speak the fact that lightning struck Cardinal Elementary School, its roof, yesterday evening. Today I had an opportunity to go visit Cardinal Elementary School and tour some of the damage. There are rooms as well. However, no injuries. School will be out for the remainder of the week. I'm grateful for the work of the custodians there who acted in a quick manner in terms of pulling the fire alarm, but also I'm grateful for the work of the Richmond Fire Department for showing up and responding as quickly as possible to mitigate any damage throughout the entirety of the building. I've pledged my support to Superintendent Cameras if he needs it moving forward. He has to find solutions on ensuring that our kids get back to a learning environment as quickly as possible, and we stand ready to help in that endeavor if they need us. I want to begin some of the updates today on the operational update on the city's finance department. As you all know, the finance department has been in the news recently, and I want to give you just a couple updates pertaining to the department. As I said in my press conference 2 weeks ago, we are establishing a standard of excellence and a culture of continuous improvement over at the Richmond City's finance department. We're doing that across every single department, but today I want to put a little emphasis on the finance department. Our first job is to serve the residents of the city of Richmond. We are required to offer them the best customer service possible and also try to simply make their lives easier. And I want to be very clear. The Department of Finance is putting in the work to improve its operations right here on the first floor and throughout its operation. But as you all know, the finance department for many years hasn't just been cutting it. It just hasn't been cutting it for many years. When Sheila White came to lead the department in May of 2021, we were still reeling from the pandemic. Our Department of Finance was seriously understaffed and behind in terms of critical technology. And even before that, finance directors came and went, and it was simply a revolving door that was hurting our efficiency and our goal to provide the best customer service possible to our taxpayers. In 2017, when I came into office, we were falling behind on some of the most basic functions. Turning in our yearly comprehensive audit and financial reports. We weren't able to do that on time, and our technology was simply out of date. And when I say simply out of date, I mean really out of date. Now, I think we are turning the corner and turning it around. We have the right leadership in place. We turn in our financial and audit reports on time every single year, and we're beginning to streamline many processes within the department. Previously, the total staffing for the finance department stood at 101 employees. Now we are at 151 employees over at the finance department. So we're continuing to recruit high-skilled employees for the department. Now we're able to do this because, as you remember, in 2023, we completely restructured the Department of Human Resources. The HR department has been at one time was not meeting the standards of excellence that we require of our departments, and now our HR department is functioning at a very high level, and supporting critical hires within our entire enterprise, like with the Department of Finance. And our new hires and current city employees do receive comprehensive training for their positions. We are setting a standard here and fully embracing a culture of continuous improvement, and that means increasing accountability measures and performance reviews, because we want to provide the best customer service possible to all Richmond's taxpayers, period. Now, on that note, I wanted to spend some time today to clarify the recent situation regarding the Finance Department's recent desk audits. As we have said, the best practice for any finance department is continuous review, especially when we're talking about handling taxpayer information. Desk audits and a clean desk policy are best practices in finance, whether you're in the public sector or you're in the private sector. The expectation is that one's desk must be clean and clear of any checks or any documents that contain taxpayer information. Those documents must be properly filed away, not simply left on an employee's desk. Now, to put this into perspective, we have over 71,000 checks processed per year right here at City Hall. And during our most recent desk audit, we found under 30 checks on desk, representing 0.04% of the checks that we process within a given year. Here's the thing. I find whether it's under 30, when there's 0.04% of checks are out on people's desks, I find that unacceptable. And our policy is that your desk must be clean, period. Residents trust us, have entrusted us with their information, and our protecting this information remains our top priority. Now, for the checks that were found, the Finance Department has reached out to the corresponding businesses and taxpayers to ensure everything is in order on their front, and it is our commitment to work with each and every one of those taxpayers, whether business or residential, on any issues we may need to resolve. Switching gears, I also wanted to provide an update on the mills tax situation. As I said 2 weeks ago, we are working hard to address any concerns with our businesses as part of this review that we've been going for a good portion of the year. Our review includes reviewing each account for allowable relief, filing, and payment history. Now, to reiterate what I stated a couple weeks ago, we have reviewed a total of 604 businesses. 125 are deemed inactive businesses. 200 have been deemed disqualified, and they've been sent a notification of such. 279 have qualified from some sort of relief and have also been contacted by the finance team. Now, this week, 132 reviews have been completed, and we are waiting to hear back from the remaining businesses that have already been contacted. I think 2 weeks ago I stated that we are using a customer service high-touch approach. We're using land and sea. We want to touch you by email. We want to touch you by phone call, by postal mail, sit-downs. Heck, if we have to knock on your door, we may have to do that too. But we want to sit down with as many of these businesses as we can and get them in front of us. And if you still have any questions, we ask that you reach out via email at millstax, MELSTAX, at rva.gov. Lastly, I also want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the finance team and some of the frontline employees who remain committed to the fix, committed to our culture shift, and also committed to meeting the standard. And the progress, I want to thank them for the progress that we're making as well. This can be time consuming, but I know that it's going to make a difference in the long run. That's what this work is all about. My biggest regret is that we didn't have Sheila White here soon enough to uncover some of the issues that we have found. Like I said 2 weeks ago, I'm grateful for her work and her willingness to run into the fires and fix the problems that she sees right in front of her face. Switching topics, I wanted to talk a little bit about FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. We have been focused on continuous improvement when it comes to the area of FOIA. And I want to draw attention to the fact that over the past several months, our response rate has been much better. Our FOIA officers are working with requesters to get the information they need, and we have prioritized a culture of responsiveness and transparency. On top of that, we've had the city attorney's office conduct training for all of our FOIA officers and reinforce that training with a mandatory assessment as well. Now, currently we have 26 FOIA officers, one for each department, and we have a FOIA coordinator. That being said, we still want to move to a more centralized FOIA system. And that was recommended as one of the best practices in the 2022 City Fiscal and Efficiency Review. Now, we tried moving towards a more centralized FOIA operation in the past, but it didn't work. So we are regrouping and creating a plan to move forward in that direction. Now, in order to do that, we have posted the position for a FOIA manager to the HR website. The HR team has told me that there have already been a lot of interest in this position, and we are in the process of reviewing those applications. We're also exploring a new FOIA software to help streamline the process. Our Department of Information Technology team is leading the procurement process to find the best suited software, and the goal is to have that in operation by this fall. Folks, it is our practice to get FOIAs out as fast as possible. But many of these requests, I will admit, are very complex and do demand extra time. For example, FOIAs include sensitive information, such as taxpayer identification, and FOIAs that go across also several different departments within City Hall. And these are records of former employees, and especially sometimes they can be old records as well. All of these require more attention and time to locate and review. And lastly, yes, FOIAs from the media are important. You all are very important to us. But you all only represent a small portion of the FOIAs that we actually receive throughout any given year. So, if you have questions, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to discuss our efforts to improve FOIA here in the city of Richmond on behalf of our residents. Switching gears one more time, I want to touch on the Diamond District project. As you all know, dirt is moving as we speak. We're over at the Diamond District. And I'm proud to announce that next week we will have several important events related to the Flying Squirrels, including a groundbreaking that will take place next Friday, September 6th. Once again, folks, this is a promise that Richmond made to the Squirrels over a decade ago, and many believed it would never happen. But today I'm here to tell you that promise is made, promise is kept. So the bonds have been sold, construction is beginning, and the Squirrels are here to stay and have signed a 30-year lease. So I hope to see all you there at the groundbreaking next week. You all were able to show up here. I hope that you all show up at the future home of the Flying Squirrels as we break ground next week. Now, before I take some questions, I also wanted to highlight a good news story that is near and dear to me, and that is the work of the Mayor's Youth Academy here at the City of Richmond. The Mayor's Youth Academy is a youth-serving unit within the Office of Community Wealth Building. The mission of the program is to develop Richmond's future leaders and workforce by offering a safe, supportive, and dynamic environment where youth ages 14 to 24 can explore diverse career opportunities and build essential skills towards success. Now, kids who participate in the Mayor's Youth Academy are offering an incredible learning experience that builds on their positive relationships while strengthening academic, soft, technical skills, aka job readiness training for our young people. They also get an opportunity to develop their leadership skills. They have exposure to entrepreneurship, mentoring, and also ready themselves for post-secondary success. Public and private employers throughout the city of Richmond make this annual program possible by volunteering to serve as partner employers and providing structured job placements for our young participants. Now I want to share some stats from the program that I'm very, very proud of. First, 502 youths were served this past year at the Mayor's Youth Academy, marking the largest program size to date. That means ever. The largest program size ever. We had 502 this year. We had a little bit under 500 last year, I believe, as well. And the fact that we're able to pull together, this is essentially a summer jobs program. I don't know if some of you all ever followed what Washington, D.C. does, but Mayor Marion Barry was a champion, the former mayor there, a champion of summer job opportunities. And we essentially have taken a page out of that book. My predecessor, Dwight Jones, started the Mayor's Youth Academy, and I've just decided to invest more time and more attention and more dollars into the program to expand it. Now, over 500 youths are served each and every year, and I'm proud that we're touching kids who, would never leave the square block in which they live in, but now have opportunities to come here and work in city government, or they've been working at, some of the businesses around the city. It's really opened their eyes to what their city has to offer. And it's my hope that it's a reminder that they can do anything they put their minds to as well. And so I'm very, very proud of the work. Additionally, we are proud to now offer 2 new leadership development programs called Youth Leads and the Youth Empowerment Council for youth ages 9 to 12, in grades 9 to 12, who live right here in the city of Richmond. Both programs are designed to empower and equip the next generation of leaders right here in Richmond's community. So we are excited also to announce that the launch of Mayor's Youth Academy MYA Forward, a fall cohort with a unique training opportunity employment program for our kids, designed to empower young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 years old by providing them with the tools and opportunities needed to succeed for future careers right here in the city of Richmond. I am proud of the work of the Office of Community Wealth Building. You'll probably hear me in the coming weeks talk about the Office of Community Wealth Building will be celebrating its 10-year anniversary. 10 years of success at the Office of Community Wealth Building, which was established to reduce poverty here in the city of Richmond. And as you all know, over the course of the last 8 years, the poverty rate in Richmond has dropped by 22%. And so not one office does that. It's a host of partners who are involved, whether in local government, state government, but also in the private sector that has helped us reduce the poverty rate. The Office of Community Wealth Building has led the way, though. So I'm grateful for the work they have done. And with that, I'll take some questions.
Karis?
Have you spoken with Superintendent Cameras? What is the plan B if students can't get back into school by the end of the week? School's out, but it happens on Monday.
The question was, have I spoken to Superintendent Cameras? And Channel 8 was with me earlier today at Cardinal Elementary School on the south side. I had an opportunity to tour the damage. We did speak about what this means for kids. They're out of school this week. Mr. Cameron stated that they have to assess all the opportunities available to them. Obviously, the best opportunity is for them to be in a classroom learning. But we do have Chromebooks. We have learned a way to educate our kids virtually as well, so that option's available to them as well. And we are willing to work with them to explore options that allow for them to use any of our facilities if anything can accommodate them. Now remember, Cardinal Elementary School is one of our larger elementary schools in the city. 800 students go to school there each and every day, one of the larger schools. So that's a lot of kids, and I don't know whether or not we have at first glance, we don't have the current capacity at any of our facilities. Remember, Southside Community Center is under construction. T.B. Smith Community Center is being built as we speak. We may have to look for other partners as well. I know our community. They stepped up when we lost Fox a couple years back. We had the Baptist Church on the corner right there on Monument step up. And I know that there will be others who will raise their hand and be willing to help RPS with this situation. But like I said, the best option is kids being in an environment, in school, in a building, learning with their teachers.
Yeah, you talked about the death audits and covering some checks on the deaths. Are you able to say what, if any, disciplinary action was taken as far as the audits who had those documents?
I cannot speak to disciplinary actions because those will be filed under personnel matters. But I will tell you this, you heard me speak about setting the standard. And if you are an individual who was employed by the city of Richmond and you are not meeting that standard, you will be held accountable. That's just the bottom line. And so accountability has occurred in this case. And I am grateful for the work of Sheila White. You may have heard about that leaked audio that came out of finance. She, in that audio, is stating what the standard is and what is required to do the work within the finance department. And if you cannot live up to that standard, you're not going to be working in the finance department any longer. Bottom line, hard stop.
Yeah, going back to the discussion about Cardinal, I know, can we talk a little bit about, I guess, what the funding is going to be to get these repairs done? I know a lot of the older schools in the city are the ones that have needed repairs recently, and this one's only 4 years old, so I guess kind of how is that going to work out with the funding to fix it?
The question was, how was that going to work out with the funding to fix the damage over at Cardinal Elementary School? First, I'm going to give Mr. Cameras the space for him to do the necessary assessment at the moment. Right now, there's a tarp over a hole in the roof, and so they have to fix that, obviously. Also, you may have learned back during the Fox incident that the school district carries insurance. And so they probably will have to talk to the organization, the company that carries their insurance, and see what will be covered by them. And then if there are any other dollars that are necessary, I'm sure that Mr. Cameras and the administration over there will have a conversation with this administration. But right now, I think it's very, very early. He has a number of contractors in the building trying to dry the place out as best as possible. At the end of the day, we don't want anyone to be injured. We don't want anyone to get sick afterwards. And luckily, no one was injured in the process during what occurred yesterday.
Sierra?
Back in the topic, Stoney school system, can you say a message to parents who might still be worried about they've been experiencing some bus delays
Yeah.
and it might go on for the rest of the week and we're being told that has to do with a COVID outbreak among bus drivers? Do you have any words of comfort maybe for the community?
Well, first, the question is about the bus delays here during the first week of school. And here's the thing, as a parent, I have a parent of a 6-month-old, not a 6-year-old, but I would be frustrated as well. I saw some of that frustration that you all covered on TV last night, and I fully understand their frustration. However, I also heard this from Mr. Cameras that many of the bus drivers were able to call out sick because of they've contracted COVID-19. And so obviously, I hope those bus drivers are on the mend. We want them to be able to get back to doing their jobs as quickly as possible so we can ensure that our kids get from home to school and from school back to home as quickly as possible. I know that Mr. Cameras has identified this as a hiccup, and then hopefully next Monday we can get back on schedule and ensure that there's no inconvenience to the parents. The question was the fire alarm pulled or did it go off? The fire alarm was pulled by a custodian. And I applaud that custodian. As you may know, you may not know this, Karis, but my father was a school custodian. And so that quick acting right there, identifying, well, there's smoke in the building, there's a problem, I might be the only one here, pulled a smoke alarm, RFD was there on site, and the process worked the way it's supposed to work. the question was the schools did not let the media speak to the custodian. I can't speak to that. That's a question for Mr. Cameras. I did speak to the individual, great young man who did the right thing. He listened to his training and then pulled the alarm, and luckily that, I think, helped reduce the amount of damage that occurred within the school.
Any other ones? All right, Graham and Sam.
So on FOIA, as you talked about, efforts to improve there, have you enacted any sort of accountability measures in that area? If you have a department or a manager who just doesn't care about FOIA, sees it as a pain in the neck, requests aren't being answered, what would your administration do about it?
Well, the question was if we had a coordinator or someone who just didn't care about FOIA, which means they were not doing their job, then as I stated earlier, then they will likely not be working here for the city of Richmond. Now, lucky enough, we do have someone who cares about their job, is passionate about ensuring that our requesters get the information that they desire in a quick and easy amount of time. If you did not care about your job in ensuring that the residents who paid for this entire operation don't have access to the information, then you wouldn't be here. That's not meeting the standard to me. And so that I find that unacceptable. And lucky enough, I'm grateful for the work of the individuals who do this work within City Hall. They're doing a good job. I'm glad to see the improvement. But as someone told me a long time ago, the biggest room in City Hall is room for improvement.
I wanted to ask, we have there's some internal documentation of a trip that Tula Brooks took to Oxford to do some training. And I wanted to ask if that's common practice, if that was a one-off, if city employees do that training at Oxford regularly, and if so, how many have done it?
Well, your question that you're asking is about a person who no longer works here at the city of Richmond. And here's the thing, I believe that if you make bad decisions, then you shouldn't be able to work for the city of Richmond. And if you exhibit bad judgment, you're not going to work here anymore. And, we're talking about a person who no longer works for the city of Richmond.
I think that's it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gianni. What time is the groundbreaking?
It's going to be probably in the evening. It's going to last